Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beyond the Summit Overwatch Cup Week 2. I'm SolidJake, joined here with TSquared. We're going into C9 versus Elevate.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us, guys. I think I fixed my $5 mic, so we should be good on the sound issues. So I saw you guys making fun of me in the chat. I see you guys in there. But yeah, this should be a really, really intense match. As we were talking before the break, C9 ended up losing to TSM there. They weren't TSM quite yet, but ended up losing to TSM in the losers bracket. So they did not end up getting the position that they wanted to. So they're definitely coming out with a chip on their shoulder. And then Elevate, ends up being always a team that, trying to make it into the top 8, just always playing with a chip on their shoulder, though.
Alrighty, well, Numbani, Nepal, and Lijiang Tower are actually going to be our maps for this series. Quite different compared to what we just had with, a lot of payload maps.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting the same thing that we saw before. I was expecting, the King's Row maybe to start it off, but, love the variety, love that we're changing things up here. And I'm really excited to see what the team compositions that these guys are going to bring to the table. I think a lot of people very familiar with Cloud9, not really sure what Elevate's going to bring to the table, though.
Yeah. All righty. Well, the first map is going to be Nepal here. C9. I assume they're feeling very confident on the series. Looks like pretty standard. Nothing odd here in terms of who's showing up for the event. Now, Elevate's been through a few roster swaps recently. I don't actually recognize Manashire, so I think he's a new addition to the team. I'm excited to see what they can do. Obviously, they were playing in the Atlantic Showdown, and they didn't actually even make it into the second round of the final event here for them. So they have a lot to improve as an organization, as a team right now in this event.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're going to probably see, your standard comps here, coming out, for the side of C9, and Surefour most likely going to be on, something laying down some damage, maybe a Farah here, most likely see, probably a Reinhardt, maybe a Winston here. So really, really curious to see what they think the meta is here for these capture points, because we definitely saw, McCree being played a lot. Again, probably going to see McCree on both teams here. And then it looks like a possible Genji also coming out for the side of Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, King of the Hill maps are a little bit different, so should see a lot of Genji. Reinhardt really falls off. I mean, looks like we're going to see Winston, but typically speaking, you pair that Winston with a Zarya just because, his bubble is such a long cooldown. He needs the Zarya bubble to stay alive in a lot of situations, and it'll be interesting to see if Elevate decides to go with the lone Winston.
Yeah, I mean, you would want to see maybe double tank composition coming out from Elevate here. Maybe, like you were saying, the Zarya to be paired up just like they do on the side of C9. So let's see if it pays off for him.
Surefour actually sticking with the Mei. Mei is Bay going to be sitting on that point. Actually very good at controlling space here, especially when you consider the main entries to this, the Ice Wall for locking them in. And of course, once she gets her ultimate, the Blizzard is just devastating if you're on the point.
Yeah, Mei probably one of the more frustrating players to play against. I can't imagine if Surefour, going up against Surefour's Mei. So I want to see what he's doing. Let's stay on board with him and see how he's going to play this one, because I got to say that Mei isn't someone that I haven't necessarily picked up quite yet, but is someone that I see myself always kind of getting really, really mad at.
Alrighty, well, Vile Virtues goes down very quickly after he leapt on into Surefour there. Great control there on the side of C9. The point, though, currently being contested, but with Reaver just kind of cleaning everyone up in his path. That should be the point being held convincingly by C9.
Yeah, so, the single Winston not really paying off for the side of Elevate. C9 looking really, really strong, also building up their ultimates at the same time. Surefour almost has that Blizzard ready, and they're just going to kind of put the pressure on here and, stop these guys at the checkpoint. And this is exactly what you want to do. And with this Mei, it's going to be so hard for them to push. It's going to, at least take them a good 30 seconds to get in there.
The Ice Wall does separate Zenyatta out of this, and the Blizzard has been cast onto a few members there on the side of Elevate, but not getting the mega value that they're looking for. The Baki is separated by himself, does have that Discord orb on him, falling quickly to Reaver, and C9 just so far forward.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, do you think they should just look for a flanking here, use one of the side entries, and just try to force C9 away to chase that Tracer or something of the sort?
Well, you go on and get the pick, but the thing is they don't have any ultimates from their side besides the Zenyatta ultimate. So, you know, C9 sitting pretty here. That's what C9 just does so well, though. They're constantly just adding pressure. They're just constantly getting into your spawn, and there's really nothing that you can do. I think Surefour is just getting a little cocky there. I mean, you know, there's pretty much nothing that Elevate can do.
Oh my goodness. Kai with that grab tensor just enabling Reaver himself and Debet to go to town, picking up the entire team. 76% already picked up for Cloud9 here in the first round of this best of 5 on this map. And, well, we're going to have to see Elevate turn it up, try to find something else. They looked for the flank, didn't get any value there.
Well, it's now kind of their time because they do have ultimates up. And then also the sound barrier popped at the same time. But, you know, Cloud9 just has such superior positioning that Elevate just has to go into this checkpoint, and there's really nothing that you can do. And Kai is just constantly working with Reaver, just constantly bubbling everybody, and that's it.
Yeah, first round going to C9. And, well, a convincing fashion. So, again, it'll be 5 rounds if it goes to the absolute final one. But first to 3 here will take the map.
Yeah, Cloud9 coming out in, you know, dominant fashion, you know, obviously a force to be reckoned with for, you know, this whole upper bracket. So if you're the side of Elevate, probably, you know, shaking a little bit from that one. Definitely, you know, want to see the double tank composition coming out here. I do like to see, you know, okay, so they're going to switch over to Winston and Roadhog here. So I think that they're going to lean a little bit more, you know, beef and meat to go against, you know, Cloud9 in this situation.
Well, Surefour going from May over to the Tracer. So going to be very slippery. Once again, the double tank here on the side of C9. Now we have the Baki going in for the Roadhog. Now, Roadhog, we mentioned this earlier, but against Zenyatta and McCree, it is difficult to stay alive. We'll see how it works out. Debet finds the entire team of Elevate, goes down very quickly. So that's going to make it hard for C9 to take this point, but Reaver looking to tie things up. Picks up double kill. Winta is going to take him out himself. Still in favor of Elevate, but no, as I say that, it's 3 in the kills, and it could be any man's game.
Yeah, decent start for Elevate. I mean, you know, trading, you know, a lot better start than they had previous. So not looking too bad for them. Surefour on the Tracer was kind of left in an awkward situation and had to fight everybody by himself. So, you know, definitely a good way to start the game if you're Elevate.
Well, since we actually saw Debet go down so quickly, he's able to get his 8th back on into the action with the orb. He stayed alive for quite a while, but Manashire gets hit by that Discord orb. The Transcendence sent there, keeping everyone standing strong for C9, and C9, who looked like they were going to be losing the first point, now in the commanding position, pushing everyone back from Elevate, but unfortunately they didn't grab the point before they pushed them away.
Yeah, just a really great job contesting there from C9, getting in there right before it was taken, and now that they do have control, this is the same position that Elevate was in before. When it comes to these capture point maps, they have to take one of these, you know, right from the beginning. Otherwise, they're not going to really stand a chance. We haven't even been able to see them take a setup back yet.
Alrighty, once again, they get the bet very quickly here. So Winston just kind of being their first target every single fight. The High Noon being cast in the back. Surefour in the back as well with the pulse bomb, picks up a few kills. And actually, that's just about everyone on the side of Elevate.
Yeah, not surprising. I mean, they probably don't have take-back strategies when it comes back to that. They don't, you know, have their ultimates really coming up besides right now. So this is you know, they're probably their best opportunity to push because they're going to have all 6 ultimates up and only 2 ultimates coming up for the side of C9. So if they can't do it here, they're not going to be able to do it the rest of the series.
Alrighty, the sound barrier being cast on both sides here. Transcendence still available for Winta on the side of the offensive push for Elevate, who are doing a great job getting themselves onto the point. C9, we do see the hook going in onto Kai, immediately bubbling himself, but now secluded Manashai just going to town, picking him apart. Cloud9 has been pushed back, and for the first time, Elevate got some points on the board.
Yeah, really nice job from Elevate, and they still do have 2 ultimates available and 2 ultimates the side of Cloud9 available as well. So as I was saying, if they were ever to have an opportunity to do it, that was it. Let's see what Cloud9's take back strategy is, and maybe Elevate can learn a little bit something from them.
Okay, Dogman, they get at him very early in the fight, but goes down himself from that pulse bomb thrown at from Tracer. Winston with a Primal Rage, Debet just kind of going to town, and C9 trying to reclaim the point here in the center of the map. He finds the Zenyatta below him right now, doing some big damage, but C9 needs to rally. They do have the Deadeye in the back, but as I say that, Reaver goes down. Adam still with the Transcendence, but no, Debet has fallen, and Manashire is just kind of popping off, falling himself at this point, though. The Baki still in there. C9 so very close to reclaiming the point, unable to do so. Just Surefour on the Tracer is not going to be enough.
Yeah, really back and forth and really scrappy. I mean, that's maybe not what you want for Elevate, but it ends up, looking halfway decent for them. You're just constantly scrapping right around, the point, but they need to set up a little bit quicker and get these guys in the choke point when they have the opportunity.
I feel like they're being very insistent on taking this point. They stuck around for a long time. The Death Blossom, a little bit preemptive there from Manashire, does get the single kill on Reaver, but not going to be too much. And as that happens, we do see C9 just kind of sweep in the back and grab the point back. So 63 to 62, just about dead even right now, but C9 in control.
Yeah, looking pretty good for, C9 and Elevate. This one's been back and forth than the first game. The thing is that was a result from just the previous fight for C9 just to be able to walk in there because all the necessary angles weren't caught. And now everybody caught in that Graviton surge. The High Noon comes out at the same time, and it's going to be hard for Elevate to come back and take this point.
Yeah, Adam has a great position right now sitting on the top of the point, just kind of raining down with the orbs and, of course, all the damage on top of that. And C9, even with Debet just kind of going to town with the Primal Rage, just doing his best to be annoying, stalling them out, keeping them busy away from the point as C9 is already up to 97%. Somebody from Elevate needs to rush in now, or this is it. Does he get there in time? Just barely. The Winston Vile Virtues by the last second makes it off the point.
Yeah, nice job contesting here. Let's see if anybody else can follow up. A couple players dropping for the side of Elevate. That's going to be 3 down. It looks like C9 is going to have the advantage here. The overtime clock is ticking, and they get back in and contest it for a second, but that's going to be it. Cloud9 is going to take this one and be up 2-0.
Alrighty. A really convincing start here on the side of C9. But I got to say, we saw a sign of life out of Elevate there.
Yeah, definitely a sign of life from Elevate. Definitely something that they can take next round. I think that something that they didn't do that well was set up quick enough. I think that they weren't expecting C9 to just kind of waltz out there right on their spawn, first person to die, kind of just beelining it right for the right hand side, going up there, and it was Kai on the Zarya, and no one really ever got onto him, and he was just able to kind of bubble everyone, tank it up, and they were just kind of able to make it really scrappy, and that's what you want to do if you're Cloud9. But Elevate, we saw how dominant Cloud9 could be when it gets the setup. If they get a setup, they have to hold it, and they kind of have to get off to a good start here if they want to take the rest of the series.
Well, we'll see what they can do. They do now have Manashire going over to Tracer for this. So very similar. Actually, are these identical comps? They are. So we'll see if they can go toe-to-toe with C9 using the exact same style of play. But C9 just going around to the left side on the stairs, waiting patiently. Winston still has his bubble available on the side of C9, now leaping into the back. With the Zarya bubble applied, drops his shield as well. And they will pick up those a triple kill already, right out of the gates. C9 just engages very concisely with Winston in the back. Everyone in the front now, they're looking for those last 3 members to try to pick up the staggered kills on the side of Elevate.
Yeah, that's not very good for Elevate. And while everybody was flooding in there and fighting on the point, I was watching this hilarious Manashire for Tracer versus Tracer battle happen in the very back here. So it was a complete 5-on-5, and Elevate just got wiped here. And now C9 is going to have superior positioning on the map.
Okay, Dogman looking to try to get the Tracer down, but Reaver ends up finding him when he was down to 15 HP, so he's down and out of it. And Reaver just kind of popping off, has Deadeye at the ready, but he's just going to blow everyone up in his face. And Elevated, once again, is getting pushed back. This is quite akin to that first round where we saw C9 pushing way beyond the point.
Yeah, this is what C9 specializes in. They're so used to just getting in there, getting the advantage, having their ultimates, and also the lead continuously building. And they just, set up perfectly. They'll overextend when they need to. They'll back up when they have to. And it's up to Elevate to come out and try to counter that.
All right, Reaver with the Deadeye, just kind of waiting, trying to find that target. Does get a few kills. Triple kill there from the Deadeye. A great start. Transcendence trying to be used, but Reaver is still going to town. Lucio with Discord. Actually, no, not going to go down here, but no, there goes Winta on the Zenyatta and Zarya all by herself. Well, that's just going to be about Elevate's push. Boarded once more, and C9 already up to 70% here on the 3rd round.
Well, this is typically your opportunity to come back and push now that they've kind of expended their ultimates because they had the advantage. And now that you've died and kind of built yours up, it's your opportunity to kind of reset. But you need to make sure that nobody necessarily dies here. So it's up to Dogman to kind of just stay alive, reset here, and just they have to use these to their advantage because this is their last push. Otherwise, they're going down in this game.
Yeah, they need that speed boost. They have it now being cast. No, they're throwing the flashbang up first, holding Zidane as long as possible, but Winston is on his case, forcing the issue, and with the bubble coming out of Winston, Dogman has to wait, but he does manage to get to bed. A lot of resources spent. Deadeye now being cast on the side of C9. Reaver looking for the kills, picks up the double, and they're forcing everyone from Elevate away.
Kai and Reaver just going off. Reaver just comboing with the Zarya Graviton Surge, just getting the picks, just getting the damage, and Kai just playing the Zarya pretty much to perfection. Elevate has to go into desperation mode, not looking really good for them at this point. That is going to be the overtime ticking down, and that is game going over to Cloud9.
Clean, very clean first series or first map of the series because, well, C9, I mean, honestly, running the same compositions, running the same styles, they just had a better understanding of how to engage. It looked like once they had the point, there was very little that Elevate could do. They caught C9 with their pants down once, but they managed to reclaim it, but that was about it.
Yeah, and you can just see Reaver going off here, just pretty much almost getting every single person for the team kill, shooting every single person, laying down damage, perfectly executed McCree there. And we were talking about it before. He seems to be, the go-to hero when it comes to laying down the damage, even after when it's all said and done, and the patches and whatnot. So whoever's maybe has the best McCree here, maybe has the best chance of winning this tournament.
It's entirely possible. I mean, we'll have to see, but that's only the first game of the series. We're going to have to see where they're going for the second map. Actually, it looks like it's going to be Numbani. So Numbani for the second map in this series. I don't know if we'll see anything weird. Now, this is where we tend to see a lot of crossfire on the defense with maybe a Torbjorn and McCree just on the opposite sides.
Yeah.
But it's possible that we try to see someone try to bust out a Widow once again.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see, who ends up doing that and who plays what. Maybe see the Genji coming out here. Looks like Manashire is over that. I would really like to see someone, stepping up like we did see in that first series. So looks like coming out for the side of C9, that's going to be Winston. Another May coming out for sure for Kai on Diva. Reaver did have Soldier, but switches over to that McCree like we were talking about. Adam on the Zenyatta, Grego on the Lucian. And then for the other side of Elevate, that's Dogman on the Reaper, Winston, Lucio, Genji, Zen, and also Diva. So Diva coming out for both sides at the same time, but no McCree also for the side of Elevate.
I love the fact that Share4 is so confident in just May play in general. There's a few players that are willing to bust out May. There's a few players that are willing to bust out Junkrat. They tend to be a little bit more on the niche side of things.
Right.
But yeah, this is pretty much, normal beyond that.
Yeah, and Diva becoming, so much more popular now. I can't, imagine how frustrating it would be to go against this, Cloud9 composition here. So, pretty standard here. I'm really curious to see if Cloud9 is going to show any cracks in their armor, because Elevate did a good job. They put up a good fight, and they showed opportunities, but they completely failed when it came to Cloud9 actually having a setup. So, if they get, any type of momentum here, they're going to have to at least put up as much of a fight as Cloud9 did, and try to put out the fire when possible.
Okay, well, no Reinhardt in the situation. Double Winston, double Diva, well, at least one on each side. And everyone on the side of Elevate making their approach to C9. C9, they're not doing that crossfire style. As we mentioned, they do have Reaver on the point, and I guess Share4 on the other side. So it's simpler, but of course, having Share4 there on the make and throw it on the ice wall, give the team ample time to respond to any kind of strange flanks coming with Vile Virtues. Speaking of flanks, both of the tanks here on the side of Elevate already on the point, going in the backside. Discord Roar being a bit of an issue there for the offensive Winston as he falls in the mech of the Bach. He already has collapsed. So pretty much C9 will defend that with ease, only losing to Bet on their side. Kai getting low with the mech. That does end up going down, but still has pilot form Diva.
Yeah, and Share4 already has the Blizzard. Reaver already has his Deadeye available. So this is what we were talking about before, where once they get the setup, once they have the advantage, they just press the advantage so much. And we haven't seen anything from the side of Elevate to be able to stop it. I know it's a completely different map and the situations, are different, but this is, a huge skill gap here when it comes to just the overall map positioning and just overall communication. They're just outworking them in every different aspect of the game. So until Elevate can actually show that when they're actually behind, it's not going to be too good for their fans.
Okay, everyone from Elevate has speed boost into the hallway. The ice wall not quite catching the way it wanted to. Reaver tried the Deadeye, but he has the Baki in his face, who flanked from the side of Vile Virtues, leaping on in, picks him off. So no Reaver for this fight. Vile Virtues in the front line there with the Discord, trying to stay alive to the best of his ability, but at least he's being annoying. Not doing a ton of damage, does end up falling. C9 collapsing on the Baki. He will go down. The rest of Elevate just kind of got evaporated there.
I can't imagine how frustrating it is going against this Mei. The problem is they all have their ultimates available too, besides Reaver, who's going to end up getting his right when, probably the opportunity comes. But, Elevate, they're just going to have such a hard time pushing here. You can't switch your team comp because you're trying to build up your ultimates, and you know what you're doing hasn't worked so far, and they're just continuing to do the same thing that they were previously doing, pushing to this left side.
Yeah, I mean, it's been working a decent. This time they're going around the top, but we see that Blizzard being cast there, as well as the Ice Block to try to stay alive. Dogman goes, the explosion of the D.Va mech, picking up 3 kills there, and Abed is going to clean up the rest of the mess. The Baki is very low there on the pilot. D.Va trying to get into the hallway, not going to be able to get away from this. They're just stalling her out, making sure they don't kill her right away, as they can make it so that there's staggered deaths on the side of Elevate. Really smart stuff.
Well, Elevate has a good opportunity here, maybe so far here, because the sound barrier is up. The problem is C9 also has a sound barrier up as well, and Primal Rage coming out for both teams. So it's going to be a pretty even fight here. I think that, Reaver maybe will be able to get the Deadeye by the time that the fight does come around. So overall, it's going to be 3-on-3 when it comes to the ultimates. So if Elevate ever had an opportunity to push again, this is going to be their opportunity, and they're taking that left route.
Yeah, they're looking for the left right. The sound barrier is being cast on both sides. One in response, one in. The D.Va mech flying above on the top point. Gonna pick up just the kill there on Dogman. So Dogman down and out. Both sides have lost, 1 or 2 heroes respectively, but it looks like it's in favor of Elevate for a change. Right now, Vile Virtue is trying to get in on the point. Share4 will have the Ice Block Trenton also used, so a bit of overlap in the defensive cooldowns. And the Blizzard not connecting on anyone. Right now, C9 being pushed off the point there. Share4 doing his best to side, but again, remember, he already used his Ice Block, but Vile Virtues will be falling, and C9, with everyone respawning, make it back in there and force them away without a single tick even being collected.
I can't believe that Share4 was able to stay in there and just continue to lay down damage and just be a nuisance. Elevate looked like they had it. They had the slays. Everyone was kind of falling for C9. It looked like they were going to be able to take this one and get the payload pushing, but C9 says no. And now they are in a really, hard situation where they got to hold, C9, maybe the best team, in this bracket, and they now have to, stop these guys on the very first checkpoint. It's going to be very hard.
It's going to be a struggle, and C9's already at match point here in this best of 3 series. So they've shown their defense, they've shown their offense, they've shown King of the Hill, they've shown everything, and it just seems like Elevate can't quite go toe-to-toe. This is when we might see something weird happen. I'd love to see...
I was thinking that too. I'm glad that you were thinking that something weird would happen.
I don't even know what to expect, though. Like, maybe they try to make something work.
Oh, Bastion. Come on. Bastion's
all right. That's weird.
It's going to be Bastion, Mercy, Reinhardt, of course. So, yeah, it looks like that's what it's going to be. It's going to be Bastion, Lucio, Mercy, Reinhardt, Genji, McCree. And then it looks like for the side of Cloud9, that's going to be Reinhardt, D.Va, McCree, TBD, and Soldier, Lucio. Definitely going to change here. But I would probably say that Elevate 80% is going to stick with the composition that they have right now.
It's possible that Reaver lets Share4 play a game as McCree because they're feeling confident, just kind of swap things up, get everyone on different heroes, kind of, feeling as flexible as possible for the rest of the day. Who knows? But yeah, this kind of Bastion style cheese. I don't know if it's definitely cheese, but it definitely kind of feels like it is. It's very all in. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you need, though.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what you need, and that's what you need to do. So curious to see where exactly they are going to set up. It looks like it's going to be in that back area here.
I mean, it's very hard to break, but there's some kind of dive that they can do to get around the corner where that Bastion setup isn't really going to be even that effective.
Looks like Share4 is going to bust out the Bastion of his own, too. Oh, no. So it's going to be a Bastion Mercy Lucio versus Bastion Reinhardt Mercy Lucio combo. So we've seen the teams copy the other compositions more than once here in the series. So looks like Cloud9 just easily be able to waltz in there, though.
Yeah, look at that. They set up right in that corner where the Bastion style doesn't have the most effectiveness, but it looks like the Baki is actually going to be able to tear up some people, picking up a triple kill, forces him back, but Surefour is still in that corner, being a bit sneaky. Bastion battles on the point, and it looks like Elevate will hold on.
Oh, Baki, the real MVP of that one there. I can't believe or be able to hold that one. So what's interesting though is Grego's going to go and jump off the map there. So curious to why he decided he wanted to commit suicide, maybe trying to get into a little sneaky spot, maybe trolling, or maybe having some connection issues. I'm not really sure what that was, but Baki repositioning here, and that's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to stay in the same spot when people know that you're there. You obviously have to relocate. Glad to see that his team's on the same page there, and that's a really good position based on where Cloud9 wants to push.
All right, so Manashire trying to duel with Surefour, but Disc Orb on Manashire and the Healing Orb there on Surefour. We see the flashbang coming out there from behind, but neither of the Genjis end up going down. Excuse me, as I say that, Dogman backs up and gets Surefour in the face. So that's no offensive Genji right now. Reinhardt charge there onto Kankai's mech there, so Diva's on her own without the mech to support her health bar. And, you know, with Genji dashing through, she will end up pulling Debet charging in, but he's all by himself. Even with that Sound Barrier being cast, the Earth Shatter is nice. I don't know if there's enough to break it. The Resurrection has come out here for the defensive side. The Baki once again setting up, this time in his tank, looking for the skills, punching through the shield of Debet. The charge not quite connected, but the Baki actually hits himself with the shot, but picks up a double kill before he dies.
That res was just a little bit early. I think if, you know, what was that? Maybe a 1 or 2 person max res going in and getting Manashire there. Probably could have just slow played that a little bit more. I know that the Genji was coming. I know Surefour was coming, but if he would have just sat back and played that patiently, could have potentially got that huge res while C9 had blown all their ultimates. So possibly a missed opportunity there for Elevate, and C9's going to take this one.
And I'm surprised we didn't have a charge or anything already there at the end for the Reinhardt. Just kind of slowly walked and didn't quite make it on the point. So that's it. C9 with a 2-0 victory in this best of 3 series.
Yeah, and there's the play of the game. That's Baki. At least you can walk away with that one. How much does it really count? I guess if you take out the other question, it counts as doubles. So Baki there, you know, at least taking away something for his team. But C9, you know, we said that they were going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. That's exactly what they did. I thought it was a pretty entertaining series overall. I think it was hilarious to see the double, you know, compositions coming out for both teams numerous times. So curious to see if that's going to carry over for the rest of these series.
Yeah, definitely interesting stuff. The offensive Bastion, not a common thing. C9, one of the teams that's willing to do it, but they made it work there. But that gives us a nice bit of update here. So that means our first advancement match for the round 2 is going to be, well, SolidPop versus C9. Those teams will be fighting for a chance to make it into the semifinals here in the winner's bracket. On the other side of this bracket, actually, NG Red has unfortunately had to forfeit their match due to roster complications, and Selfless Gaming will be getting a walkover today. That was, I believe, scheduled to be our next series for today. Which means that after that, it would have been one shot versus Colorado Clutch. So I don't know if we're jumping into that right away. It sounds like we're trying to figure out if we can get a map secured in for basically right now.
Yeah, and we apologize for that, guys. Obviously, NG Red really was looking forward to play, but nonetheless, Selfless will be moving on. But overall, you know, SolidJake, what do you think of this potential not potential, but it's going down, you know, SolidPop versus C9? You know, SolidPop looking really good against Liquid, C9 looking really good against Elevate.
You know, I think Liquid looked a little bit worse today than I'm used to seeing them. So SolidPop, they played really well, but I feel like C9 is going to be a different story. I think C9 is definitely my favorite going into that match.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's probably 75% chance going for Cloud9, 25% chance for SolidPop. So up next, I believe we will have, is it Shot versus Clutch?
Well, that's possible, but I think we might be trying to get maybe one of the loser matches in earlier, because basically the way that it's all set up is each of these matches are scheduled at a specific time. So One Shot and Clutch, they're not even scheduled until 2 p.m. Pacific. So that's an hour and a half from now. And we can't force any of these teams to play ahead of their actual scheduled time. You never know what their plans are, what they have set up for today. And if they're not ready, we don't want them to play at, 80%. We want all of these players at 100% for the matches to get the best games we can possibly get.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, typically when, you're going and you play this, I mean, a lot of it is mental, just getting kind of mentally prepared, just kind of getting hyped up and being like, okay, I'm playing exactly at this time. If you kind of throw it in there and say, hey guys, this match didn't happen, so you guys got moved up. So I think that it does, protect just the overall integrity of the tournament to make it as, fair and competitive as possible.
Of course. Well, guys, on that note, we're going to throw to a commercial break for now, but we'll let you guys know as soon as we have an update pertaining to our next match for today. Plenty more matches to come, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in a bit.